Hello, hopefully you're doing well. So we're going to talk about these peace deals Donald Trump and everybody else seem to be very excited about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the history of this region a little bit, and then the current deals and some of the deals that have previously uh, have been agreed upon, especially including the one that Trump signed in uh, with this group before, which was at the time everybody was so excited and that this would be that would be the last time the Middle East is going to be fighting, which did not even last more than a year. And then, so if you go back a little bit in history, even back to, let's say, Byzantine Empire. Byzantine Empire was a Christian nation in the Middle East. It was basically a continuation of the Roman Empire in the East. And before they start fighting with the Ottoman Empire, which is Turkey at the time, which is Turkey basically. And the Roman Empire during that time, I'm sorry, I was distracted by something. During that time, the Roman Empire, just like the European Empire today, the European countries, America, all of these European countries, they've been influenced by Arab countries, immigrant from Arab countries, and they eventually were able to uh, convince these Roman empires, turn them against each other using the local grievances, local conflict, whatever it is. And the Arab countries, the Muslim, were able to turn them against each other. So there are a lot of fighting going on within the Roman Empire. They just fighting each other, and that's how the Roman Empire eventually fell. Not because of other countries or other uh, foreign country invaded and defeated them. And that happened in the later time. But during the time when the Roman Empire was very strong, very, very strong militarily and united, that's how they were able, they fought each other. In a lot of these Arab countries, the Muslim in general, were basically involved in, just like they're involved today, uh, in turning them against each other, and they got destroyed. And then the last empire was Byzantine Empire, which is a Christian, which was the last one, with a very small fraction of Christian nations, small nations, like you have today in the Middle East. You have Kurdish, you have Yiddish, you have these little spot of the Christian all over the Middle East. But during that time, the Christian are much more in numbers, but they are separated in small areas, and they were defeated individually because they fight in each other. At the same time, they also fight in the Arabs and the Muslims. And Byzantine Empire was destroyed by Ottoman Empire, and then the British comes around, as you know, the French, and these guys, they are also defeated by, look at the French, for example, were involved during that time. And if you look at the French today, French populations, almost 200 Arab and Muslim populations. So coming to today, if you look at, let's say, going back to even 19, the agreement that was signed, for example, with the Western countries, like back to 1916, agreement signed with Ottoman Empire, and then eventually Ottoman Empire take over a lot of these Arab countries, which is like during that time is Iran, Syria, Iraq, and other places, which jointly fighting each other, and but they're mostly fighting the Christian that were in their country at the time, French, British, and then back to if you look at 1948, which is after the World War, the Israelis, the Jews, went back to Israel, back to the region, and the Arab Muslim countries jointly make an effort to get rid of them, and they signed peace agreement in 1948. If you look at the time, the news report during that time, the history that is written during that time, the excitement that revolved around this peace agreement, all of those excitement is mostly from the Western country, from white people. They believe that these people are their aspiration is common shared aspiration of all human beings, all human race, which is freedom and desire to not be living under oppressions, to be financially prosper, to be wealthy, and be able to take care of yourself and your family, get an education, etc. And what a lot of these European countries fail to understand is that everything that's going on in this population of the Arabs and Muslim countries, regardless of the level of education, everything is dedicated to afterlife, to get to paradise, regardless of amount of money, amount of power, amount of education. It doesn't matter how much of the education you have, how much money you have. The populations, their whole identity, their ultimate goal is to be to fight and get killed fighting or die fighting. That's the ultimate reward. It's like fighting a lottery. So this is why the peace agreement with this in this region have never succeeded. I can research and look at the peace agreement that have been signed since 1948. It's probably been over 2000s with this in this region, and every one of these peace agreement have been broken by the Arab and Muslim, and all the peace agreement always signed during the weakness to give the Muslims and Arab countries a break from fighting, to recover from fighting, to not lose any territories, so they can hold on to the territory, they can hold on to power, and they can regroup, rearm their groups, get more supplies, come up with the new strategy. It's never signed for long-term peace, and all of the Arabs and Muslim countries, they share the same goal when it comes to religious. They all share same religious goal. I know you may be thinking, oh, religion, nobody cares about it. It's 2025. But believe it or not, all the Muslims care about and believe that the religions that they follow more than is not less than those who fought and died for it in 19 in 620, at the time when Muhammad was fighting the Jews to go to Mecca, to go to this Saudi Arabia, what's today Saudi Arabia, places where the Muslim go to pray to a rock. What I'm trying to tell you is this peace agreement will be just like the previous thousand of other peace agreement that was signed, and it's not gonna last. So Hamas, actually, in my opinion, knowing the regions, all the Arab and Muslim countries support these jihadis, this terrorist Hamas. There's also more than 50 other terrorist groups, just like Hamas, all over Gaza and the West Bank. It's not just Hamas. So Hamas strategy is just going to be to take a break. They will not disappear. They will relabel with the new names under new government. They will come and fight again, just like they did in October 7th. But I'm afraid it would be much more than October 7th. Look around the area. In this region, there are more than 600 million Arab and Muslims, all the neighboring countries to the Israel. ISIS, the terrorist group ISIS, have just taken over Syria, and Turkey have just taken over part of Syria, have eradicated more than 90% of all the Christians, the Kurdish in the area. As most of you have probably seen on Twitter, the little small population of Christian in Syria, one night, over 7,000 of them were killed. There's YouTube video, Twitter. It's on Twitter, all videos that for that week, all over social media, but nobody reported. So that's what they have, Israeli have in their neighbor. They have 40 million jihadis at the neighbor on the side of Syria. They have nuclear weapon jihad, Arab countries or Muslim countries right there, Pakistan, and this Syria also have relationship with Russia, with China, with Pakistan, and this place, Gaza, they have access to all those resources, the weapons, the money from all of these populations. They will eventually flood the area with more fighters, with more weapons. They have access to the border with Egypt, with Lebanon, with Syria, and they will flood. They will get more than enough fighters, over 600 million Muslim population there. There will never be a shortage of uh, fighters. So what I would think is that uh, they will eventually going to flood the place, and the UN is going back into this place. The UN is basically become a branch of Muslim country. They become a vehicle and part um, of this terrorist structure, just like the UNRWA. UNRWA have used their leadership to get money to this group, to transport money, weapons, fighters, and we use the money from all of these European countries to make this happen. So there will be more fighters and weapons. It's not going to be less just because Hamas signed peace agreement. They will take some break, recover, come up with a new strategy. Remember, 57 Muslim countries. Remember, 57 Muslim countries support this group. They voted in favor of Hamas more than 100 times at the UN. And they convinced over 170, 180 other countries in the world to also vote for Hamas, basically asking that Israel must stop fighting Hamas. Basically, survive. They want the Hamas to survive, and this means that the fact that Hamas signed this agreement and those countries joining with Donald Trump to agree to this doesn't mean anything. They're basically helping to stop the war so that Hamas don't lose any territories. That's most of the fear for these Arab countries, for this place to be, for the Hamas to lose territory, for this little uh, Palestinian places to be taken over and controlled 100% by Israel. Because remember, in every other war, when you lose a war, you also lose a territory, which should have been the case in 1948. But unfortunately, Israel made a horrible mistake. They continue to make horrible mistakes. Yes, it's a good deal that the in a sense that they have the hostages released. But remember, Israel have lost more than 1,000 soldiers in this war. So calculating the ultimate goal of the war, uh, and the fact that they lost that much people in this war, and now they're going back to exactly previous, like the previous, before October 7th, which is October 6th, and all the these groups, the Hamas, whatever they lost, they're going to recover for free. All the whatever building that destroyed, the weapons that was lost, they're going to get free weapons from these countries, Arab countries. All the facilities and building that is being destroyed, they're going to get brand new one. They're going to just rebuild the tunnels, and any attacks that Israel will conduct, they will wage international wars, international propaganda to shut it down. And so this is really a terrible deal in my opinion. And the fact that any of these Western countries with the clean conscience support these Arab and Muslim countries in a war against a Christian country fighting to defend itself is unconscionable to me. You know, imagine in the war, you're fighting, let's say, in 1935, 1934 against Germany, neo-Nazi Germany. If all the European countries, other than a few of them, come in support of Germany during that time, and Germany signs ceasefire, and then they stay intact and build more supply, resupplies, and they didn't lose any of the territories that was captured, there will not be Europe like we see today. And this is exactly what's been happening with these jihadis, Arab and Muslim countries. And a lot of these Western leadership, they fail to understand what drives the minds of these people. The problem is not really just the people that are willing to join these jihadi groups. The entire Arab and Muslim countries not just support this group with money, with weapons, with fighters. Every day, if you go to any of these countries, or if you go to YouTube or whatever social media, every government employees, these Arab countries or Muslim countries, every government employees using government resources, they teach the student to exactly what's in the book, in the Quran, in the Hadith, in the Surah, is that, and they basically tell them, teaching them about Christian and Jewish or God-hated people. This is what's being taught, that these people need to be destroyed, the Christians and Jews, that their time is long overdue, and the God will not forgive us if this not happen very soon. They cannot wait. They cannot wait. All the teachers in the school, it doesn't matter if it's public school, private school, 5 times a day, all of these populations, let's say over 2.3 billion people, every day, 5 times a day, 5 separate times a day, each time 20 minutes, they will pray for the destructions. God help me destroy Christian and Jewish. They are God. They're cursed by God. They are monkeys and pigs. And for every destructions, for every hate, for every deceptions that you can deceive and use their resources to kill these, to eradicate these groups, and these books telling them you are rewarded by God. And So I can't, when I think about this, the best evidence for why this peace deal is garbage, and everybody who is excited about this for whatever, for different reason. Everybody is excited for different reasons. The Arab countries are excited because they're taking breaks and waiting out the Donald Trump and come back when Republican out of power. Either a Democrat retain the voting power, they can vote on any bills to help these jihadis. What at the minimum help, what I mean is either they help make sure that Israel will never get the ability to defend themselves with American weapons, or they actually help these Arab and Muslim countries by providing them with weapons, fighter jets, American intelligence, American technology, and these eventually will go to fight the war for the jihadis. Because all of these countries, even though they pretend not to be part of these terrorist groups, they are one and the same. All the intelligence agencies right now, for example, uh, the Qatar, the Egyptians, Saudi Arabia, all the Arab countries, they have people that are spying on the United States, intelligence. They have people working on weapon manufacturing companies in the United States for the United States military to make sure that they know what's going on. They're training people to fight, to fly American fighter jet, F-16 or whatever, newest technology. All of these reminds me of what happened to Roman Empire. And you look around, a lot of these Democrat Congress, the Democrat voters, they cannot wait. They cannot wait to join Hamas, to join the Muslim and Arab countries to destroy the United States and the Western countries. I can't think but laugh when I see the LGBT and gay men cheering for the support of Hamas, in support of Muslim and Arab countries. If you know this history, if you read the Quran, which Muslims believe and to be complete word of God that they must follow, if you read it like a novel, at the beginning, of course, it's going to be peaceful. The more power they gain, the more extreme the verses become. And then when they gain power to kill all the Jewish people during the time they go into Mecca, from that time on, all the verses is basically extremely violent. And all the war they did is just like what you see ISIS and Taliban and all these jihadi group, what they're doing, killing people. You see it on video. All those, they do that to their own people who they believe to be not following the correct version of Islam or not doing enough. And this is happening in all over Middle East, in every Middle Eastern Arab and Muslim countries. They have erased all the Christian in their community. They cannot have Christian going out and telling people to join Christianity, to become Christian, any other religion. But they can come to America and use the idea of freedom of expression through the same here, and they have successfully indoctrinated half of America. No, they're willing to join them and kill all of the populations of America. So they basically successfully be able to convince the American population to go and turn against each other. And if you look at these, just not as a person who is supporting either side, but looking at it as logical things, logically what's happening. Just like when you look at uh, any other studies, you look at a computer program, you look at spreading disease that is spreading slowly, you know that eventually that America and European countries will be gone. And this is not just in America as well. It's happening all over Africa, Asia, Spanish, in the only countries that are immune from this, that are fighting like hell to make sure the Muslim and Arab countries not getting infecting their population is China. And other than China, every other country they have, look around, you have these black people in Africa, for example, that have been treated horribly in all Arab countries. They coming out in support of this Muslim uh, fight that have nothing to do with Africa. And in every African countries today, all the school, from middle school, kindergarten, high school, colleges, it's been taken over by Muslim and Arab countries. All the classroom, the material that's being provided and taught to them is coming from these Arab countries. Like you won't believe, you see Africans, black people, killing their mothers and sisters and cousins because they're not Muslim enough, and it's happening all over. So I know I've been wrangling on and on and on, but I hope you know that this deal is just like every other deals that have been signed in the last 200 years. It will not last. It will never last. And I think my plan, what I think the Hamas and all the Arab countries, what they're doing is, hey, we're gonna just hold off this war. We got enough deal from this guy, from Donald Trump. All the Arab countries, a lot of them, they got security guarantee signed with the Donald Trump. Security guarantee provide the Arab countries with weapons, with American weapons, American technologies, American intelligence uh, applications. Qatar alone, they got over couple hundred fighter jet from United States. They also buying up all the prime real estate from every state, every blue state in the United States, directly or indirectly. They also have infected schools, college, universities, especially in the blue state, in the Democrat state. They basically running the show. They have taken over all the government institutions, from school board, city council, government institution, including courtrooms, prosecutor office, judges, even as far as going to put in their people in things like public housing, DMV, recruitment into the police department, into the every level of government institutions. And if you look back, you look at the UK, for example. The UK, all the mayors, the city council, all of them are Muslims. Almost 90% are Muslims. At the head of the immigrations are Muslims. The head of the like Homeland Security, for them, are Muslims. every department, the welfare office is Muslims, the head of the Muslims. And when it comes to violence, the terrorist attack, there is almost every day there are tens of thousands of these white people that are being killed. It's not being reported, but the killing amount of killing that you see on Twitter and other social media is unbelievable. Not just in UK, but all over Europe, the European countries. And the European country, the police department is basically telling their people that they're arresting people for speaking out, for saying, this immigration is affecting us, they're killing us, they're taking our cities, towns, and there's nothing we can do about it. And complaining and mentioning this issue, the fact that 80 to 90% of the government job seem like it's run by Arab and Muslim countries, the government and private institution. When it comes to school, all they get funding if they are compliance with whatever these Muslim and Arab country require them, which is in participating in reading Islamic, some of what they're teaching in the school, all the school in that area, in those areas are basically indoctrinating them with these. I think you know where I'm going with this. Ultimately, Donald Trump, he got all the people that are excited and mentioning how good this deal is, mostly Fox News and the Republican base. And the reality is Donald Trump is making a lot of business dealing with these Arab countries. He's personally getting rich, making all sorts of deals. His family, his sons, and all the people that are connected to him, they're making a ton of deals. And also giving these Arab countries everything that they want. They have connection to United States. They can spy on any country they wanted to through connection to United States, technology, intelligence. They also can see if there is any kind of actions against any terrorist, any Muslim terrorist groups, Arab terrorist group in the region. They know what's going on, and they can take appropriate action to guide their brothers in jihad. And they basically have successfully able to use the United States to fight any wars by getting all sorts of weapons from the United States, fighter jets and intelligent technologies and security guarantee, which is huge. Because if you think about it, a lot of these Arab countries, they don't make their own weapons that are capable of fighting any war successfully against a Western country. So what they're doing is they're buying weapons from America, from other Western countries. They flood their people into those countries to train them. That's how they fight each other. And additionally, if you look around, they manage to flood their people, Arab and Muslim country, into all of this Western country, United States, by capturing the agency that get the people into these countries, the UN. Remember, anybody that want to come to the United States, they have to go through the UN. So they managed to capture the UN, and this is more than almost 70 years ago. They captured the UN, They put their people there, just like they right now. To go to these blue Democrat state, all these Muslim Brotherhood and this jihadi countries, they support and put Democrat leftists in power. Once they are in power, they put their people under there and then basically get whatever they want politically, financially, uh, jobs, anything that they need to get their people in there and change geographically, ideologically, anything that they want to affect, whether they want to change the makeup of the department, policies, whatever, they can do that, or they want to buy anything in this town, they can do that. And that's basically what they're doing with the UN. They infected the UN and able to replace most of the people in the UN with the leftists, and then get their people under those leftist leadership into the UN. And then anyone that want to come to the United States, they only accept Muslims. If you're Arabs and Muslim, you can go. They will approve and give you all the support that they need, whether money, approval to come to the United States, immigration approval. They will approve all and any Muslim person, and they will deny most of the, if not all of the Christians, and a lot of the cases, actually, they sell the chance to come to the United States to the Christians in under the table. You go to these people. If you go to want to apply to come to United States, a lot of them, if you're Muslim, it's fine. If you're Christian, they'll charge you money. They will mention it to you, and they take money under the table. And this have been going on. And most of the time, they will reject the Christian outright. They cannot allow it to come to the United States. That's why you see most of the Christians in a refugee camp and waiting. They just allow them to fill out application or whatever, but they never call them to come to United States or Western countries. Because when you have to fill out these paperwork, you have to include your name, your religions. A lot of times, Christians, they have different names than Muslims, so that in itself is enough for them to reject those names automatically. And because the people that fill out these paperwork, the paperwork include religion on the paperwork, what kind of religion you believe, whatever, Christian, Muslim, you have to check the box, which one. And also, a lot of these people, they have to go to interviews. So during the interviews, they will find out what religion they are. Religion is important to these Muslims. They believe it is a matter of life and death, and therefore you're not gonna let your enemies to. You're not gonna help them. So that's what's going on as far as the UN. As you can see, most of the conflict, if you see the UN is not reporting any conflict when it comes to the Christian suffering or Christian being killed by Muslims. They never report. You see what's going on in Syria, Christian getting killed, and there's actually tens of thousands of videos on Twitter. They never prosecute these people. They never take any of these government in Syria. They didn't take them to ICC, International Court of Justice, for these people to be charged. Why? Because they're killing Christians, and that's a good thing. And they don't see it as something worthy of prosecutions, but they don't see most Christians. They don't see Christian and Jewish as human beings. Anyway, so this is why I think, and I know, I know that this deal is not going to work. I hope you understand. This will do for today. Hope you're not bored with this. Subscribe for next videos. Stay tuned.